this is Sue from Sue's Paper Creations. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and today I have got for you a adorable little card using our new stamp set, Be Thankful. So I love this stamp. It is so adorable, and I wanted to show you how you can use vellum and how you can blend on vellum really easy, and that is how I created this ombre effect in the letters. So vellum is something that we have got in our annual catalog, and we have got cardstock vellum, so it is slightly thicker than just your average vellum, which makes it great for whether you're embossing on it, whether you're stamping on it. It's just a little bit more sturdy, and so when you are embossing on it as well, you don't end up with the curling that you would get with just your regular vellum. As for the stamp set, you can find that on the annual catalog. It is page 125. They've done a gorgeous little ombre effect here in the catalog where they've actually cut out some of the letters and popped them out. And then they've done a white on crumb cake here, which is also adorable. So I am going to be using something that Stampin' Up! Returned in this annual catalog, which I was so excited, which is the Stays On ink. So Stays On ink is a solvent ink. It is permanent ink. You can use it on, as it says, for every surface. So this is awesome to use on vellum because it's not going to smear. You can use it on plastics, fun foam, glass. You can stamp it pretty much on every surface and it will stay on. So I am going to be using it for the vellum, which is awesome. And I'm going to get started and show you how quick and easy this card goes together. Okay, so I have got my Be Thankful stamp here. I have got a piece of vellum, and this measures 3 inches by 5 3/4. And I'm going to bring in my Stays On ink, and we're going to ink this up. So not only does this stuff stamp on everything, but it smells like almond paste. I love using this stuff. It smells so good when you're creating projects with it, when you got it open to stamp. It reminds me of almond paste at Christmas time. Okay, so I am going to just stamp in the center of this. I'm going to just go straight down, give it a little pressure here, even pressure. And it is a bigger stamp, so I do have my Stampin' mat underneath just for a little bit of extra pressure there. And there we have our gorgeous little stamp on the vellum. Now, this dries super quick and easy. That's the nice thing with the Stays On. That's why it has, I've got a little piece of extra paper on there. That's why it has this extra little cover on here, so you don't want to throw that out. It protects the inner surface and just keeps it a little bit moist a little bit longer, okay? So it's so that it doesn't dry out, all right? All right, so this has already dried. As you can see, it is not smudging or anything when I rub my finger over it. What we are going to do for our project today is we're actually going to use the Stampin' Right markers, and we are going to color on the back of it. So this is going to give you kind of a, we like to call it a stained glass effect. So the color is going to come up from behind, especially when you mount it on white. It really makes it bright and beautiful, okay? So I'm going to bring in some Stampin' Right markers. I've got some new colors I'm working with today. We've got Call Me Clover. We have got the Coastal Cabana that we brought back from retiring, and one of our ink colors from last year, Berry Burst. And then I have got Pineapple Punch, which is one of our new ink colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start coloring my little bee here, and I'm going to color him in the Pineapple Punch. And it's really a nice surface to color on. It's nice and slippery. And so the markers, they just glide right over the vellum. All right, so there is our yellow little bumblebee. Now I'm going to do the flowers in the Berry Burst here. Now, a couple little extra tips when you are coloring on vellum. If you find that you end up going out of the lines, if you have some baby wipes that are near, so you might want to have one near, and if you get on the vellum where you don't want it to go, you just need to you can use a little baby wipe and you can actually wipe it right off the vellum. So that is a little tip for you guys, okay? So when you're working with vellum, if you get your marker where you don't want it, just get out a baby wipe. And I don't know, it's the alcohol or whatever in the baby wipe, it just wipes it right clean off the vellum. So that is a little side tip for you guys, okay? We came across that in a class that I did yesterday where someone got it out of the lines and we were trying to figure out a way to get it off of the vellum. So it worked perfect. So I thought I'd share. All right, so I am going in with my Call Me Clover and I am coloring these leaves. Now I'm going to actually blend some of them. I don't think I blended the leaves on my original card, but I'm going to do that. So I'm going to just put a little tiny bit of green, and I'm going to show you guys how quick and easy it is to blend on the vellum. So I'm going to bring in one of my blender pens. So this is key for this technique. You want to have the blender pen, and blender pens are awesome because all you have to do is when you are done with one color, you just run it on your paper until it runs clear, and then you go ahead and you color the next color. So normally you would pick up color with your blender pen to color with, but for stamping on the vellum, all you have to do is just put a little bit down, and then you can move it around with your blender pen. So I'm going to see how light I want these leaves. I might just actually do it for, I want to have the leaves darker actually. So I'm going to add just a little bit more on the outside and a little bit on here, but I'm going to fade it in with the blender pen just because I want them slightly darker. There we go. So I'm going to fade in the inside, darker on the outside, lighter on the inside. And I think we got enough ink over here that it will fade in nicely. Yep, that looks good. This one, again, I want a little bit darker, so I'm going to add a little bit more color just on the outside edge. And I'm going to blender it. Just like that. Perfect. Okay, so for the amazing ombre effect, exact same thing. So you take your blender pen, you take your Stampin' Write markers, and I have got the Coastal Cabana here. And what I am doing is I am just coloring the bottom half of the letters. So what I'm doing is I'm going to color them so full strength on the bottom, right? And then once I have them all colored across the bottom here, I'm going to bring in my blender pen, and you guys are going to see how I can pull the color up with the blender pen on the vellum because it moves so nicely on the vellum. I'm trying to color and talk at the same time and not go out of the lines. And I'm not sure whether my head's actually, I'm getting closer and closer to my piece of paper here, so you probably saw the top of my head there for a second. I'm not sure. Can't quite see in the camera. But there's a possibility. Can I say I get into my work here? Okay, so I'm almost done. I'm just doing the bottoms. I'm going to do a little bit across the bottom of here. Just like that. A little bit here. Darker along the bottom. Okay, we're ready. So I have colored across the bottom here on all of the letters with the Coastal Cabana, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I am going to pull color up from the bottom into the top of the letter. So this is giving us our dark to light for our ombre effect. See how easy that just glides along the vellum. So the magic is the blender pen. You just have to glide it along and just pull the color up the letters. And it will just naturally, because less and less ink the ink is starting to come out of the blender pen, so you're pulling it up, but it's naturally on its own going to get lighter, because as you pull it up, there gets less and less ink the more that you use it. So as you're pulling it up to the top, the color starts to run out a little bit and lighten, just like that. Now, it might be a little bit hard to see because I have got a dark surface underneath this. I've got just the Stampin' Matte, but once I put this onto our white cardstock, you guys are going to see the amazing effect that this blending does. Okay, all right, I think we're ready. You know what, I'm going to use a little bit of blue here, and I'm going to put just a hint, just a shade of blue, just a tiniest bit on the wings of the bee, because that's just so cute. Okay, now, so there we have it all blended. Now this is where the magic happens when you put it on white. Couple tips. When using adhesive on vellum, you want to be able to hide your adhesive. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm using glue dots because I find that the easiest to work with the vellum. And I'm just going to put one on each corner of the piece of vellum, just like so. There we go. Then I'm going to bring in our white. Here's where you get to see the blending. Look at that. See, this is why they call it stained glass effect. Now I have to get up over top of this to make sure I'm lining this up. But this is where they call it the stained glass effect, because when you pop it over that white, it makes it look like a stained glass. Okay, so there you have got all your color. Now you can see it nice and bright on the white, and I can see how you can see the glue dots underneath the vellum there. This is where I'm going to bring in a couple strips of DSP from our color packs. So I am so glad that the color DSP is back. I love the tone on tone of the color DSP, and they now have it in a more convenient size, so it's 6 by 6, which I am loving it for projects. And I'm going to hide my adhesives of my vellum with the strips of DSP. So I am going to just use a little snail. Let's attach it here. There we go. Oh my goodness. What are the chances? My snail just happened to run out right here. And of course my refill is in the other room. Should check my supplies before I do these videos, hey? So I'm using my fallback here. I'm just using some glue dots to attach this for the rest of this video. Okay, so I'll just use a couple extra glue dots to attach it here. Okay, there's stripes on the other side, or polka dots on the other side. I'm just going stripes and stripes for this one. So I'm going to put that, and again, it overlays where the adhesive is for the vellum, so therefore you don't, oh, hold on, I need another glue dot. Pop under here. There we go. Voila. So therefore you don't see where the vellum was attached to the card. Okay, now these are a little long. I just did, because our DSP packs are 6 inches, I just cut strips to use on the cards, and then I just trim it off after. But there is our gorgeous little bee. Okay, I'm going to add a few embellishments. So I'm going to bring in, we have got a new package of metallic pearls. So these are beautiful. You get in a package. You can see we use quite a few at the class this weekend, but you get the silver and the gold in the package. So a total of, let's see here, 242 pearls is what you get in the package. For this little scripture of the thanks, see these little rounded spots here? To me, they were just calling for a little embellishment. I think it's the perfect spot to put a pearl. So I'm going to put that on 3 of them. Let's see here. Just got to grab it. 1. Come on, work with me. Oh, now it's on my finger. Put 1 over here. 2. And then I'm going to put 1 more right over here. 3. There we go. So I'm just going to add 3. And you can see how that just adds a little something to the card. And then I'm going to pull in some twine, and I'm just going to do a little bow across the top. Just to pull that, having an accent of, I think this is pool party twine. I can't remember. It's looking pool party, yeah. But just having an accent of a light blue also draws more attention to the ombre there and makes it kind of show up a little bit more. So I'm just going to tie a little bow at the top of here with my twine. And that is the card finished. So quick and easy coloring on vellum. To get different shades, just use your blender pens and you can pull the color around and you can make it lighter or darker, just like we did there today. The stays on is definitely what you want to use when you are stamping your images that you're going to be coloring on your vellum, because then it will stay on the vellum and it won't smudge at all. It dries super quick. So that's another tip. Remember, if you get a little ink where you don't want it on the vellum, a baby wipe works nicely just to kind of take that ink off. And that is the tips I've got for you for using the vellum for coloring. So Be Thankful is in the new catalog. If you are wanting to place an order on my online store, this is my current host code. This is my Stampin' Up! Website, but this is the current host code till the end of June. And when you place an order with me and the order is over $50, I always send a little card kit in the mail for you. As well, if it's over $60, you get into my In It to Win It, which I always give away a nice big prize or a gift certificate that you can use towards products. So those are a couple things that I offer. Anyone in Canada can place orders through my online store. You just have to be living within Canada. So if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. If you need a catalog, let me know. If you have any questions about products, just send me a quick message. I am going to have my link to my online store in the description below. If you are following along on Facebook, then you just have to push the Shop Now button on the upper right-hand side. Okay, so again, any questions, comments, I love to hear them. I am going to be doing a couple more videos today that I'll post in the next couple days. So if you like what you see, please let me know. Subscribe to my channel and you won't miss any of the up and coming videos. Okay, hope you guys have a fabulous day. Thanks for stopping in and spending some time with me, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.